Now, in this video, I want to give you an overview as what is expected of you for the Chapter 5 assessment project that you're doing. You can find all the documents and resources you need in this folder, so let's click on that. The first document you're going to see is the project guidelines. So we'll click on the guidelines and talk about some of the highlights for this. The ultimate goal is you're going to end up drawing at a minimum a hexagonal shape, and you're going to compute the area of the inside of that shape using just triangles. You need SOHCAHTOA, law of sines, law of cosines, and the triangle area formula. If I look at the process of what's expected of you, the first bullet point is I want you to use no lined paper if you're doing it on physical paper. If notebook paper is the only thing you have, that's fine. It's not preferred, but it's fine. Or you can draw a shape on your computer. And what you need to do is draw an image that uses only straight lines, has at least 6 sides, and is enclosed. So basically, at a minimum, it's a hexagon. Your polynomial has to be unique from all other FST students. So no one in theory, if you're doing this on your own, should have drawn the same hexagon. You might have a slightly different length on one side or a slightly different interior angle. You're then going to measure the 6 interior or exterior side lengths, and you're going to label them to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. If you have a centimeter or a meter stick or a ruler at home with centimeters, I just go ahead and use that particular ruler. If you don't have a ruler, there is a Chrome extension you could use called Edge, the web ruler, that you can actually measure in centimeters. And in the next video after this, I show you how to use that, and I also have the links available in our folder. So if we actually go back to the folder, you can get to these extensions. After that, you're going to reasonably estimate all the interior angles. So if I drew a hexagon, I'm going to have 6 interior angles. Measure them to the whole integer. You're probably going to want to get the Chrome extension. It's called MB Ruler for Chrome. It's in our Chapter 5 project folder. You can link to that extension, and you can use that to actually measure your 6 angles. It says here you want 6 plus exterior sides. I would recommend just doing 6 sides. You don't have to do a 7-sided figure or an 8-sided figure. It's actually going to be a lot more work for you. So just draw some type of 6-sided polygon figure and get those angle measurements recorded. Again, the next video does show you how to use this actual electronic protractor. Unless you have a protractor at home, you could use that. After you measure all 6 sides and all 6 interior angles, you're then going to section off the interior area using just triangles, going from vertex to vertex. The lines you draw cannot overlap, so you don't want to see any like X shapes at all, just from one vertex to the other. In theory, you should see 4 different unique triangles. The lengths of these, you obviously could look at your ruler to measure it, but you have to mathematically compute the lengths of the interior lines that you draw for this shape. So when you do that, you're going to have at least 3 different lines you're going to have to find using math to find the lengths of those. You then can also use, you're going to have to use SOHCAHTOA, Pythagorean's theorem, law of sines, law of cosines, in your knowledge of geometry and angles to find, again, all those interior side lengths and the segmented adjacent angles. When you take the inside of your polygon and you sector it off into 4 different triangles, you're going to create smaller angles on the inside, and you're going to have to use math to compute what those angle measurements are. Again, you could overlay this electronic protractor and estimate it, but that you can only do for the main shape, not when you start to segment it off into 4 triangles. After you've computed all of the interior side lengths and the interior angles, you can easily then go and compute the area for each of the triangles that you have. And then from there, you can add it up and get the area for the entire shape. You're going to want to ensure your work is easy to follow for me to grade. I can tell which formulas you're using for various side lengths you're getting, various angles, and various area computations. Once you're done with that, you're going to upload an image of your actual shape and all of the supporting mathematics. Now, how is that going to be graded? Basically, these are the requirements. I'm going to roughly do about 2 points for each of these 5 elements. First element is that law of sines and law of cosines must each be used at least 1 time. SOHCAHTOA or Pythagorean theorem can be used, but it's not required. Remember, to use these 2 features, you have to have a right triangle. So if you don't have any right triangles, you never would actually use those, and you would use law of sines and law of cosines all of the time instead. The second thing, you can use the right triangle area formula. That's our basic formula we learn in geometry to compute the area of only one of your triangles. You must use the new sine formula that we just learned in 5.5c to find the area for at least 3 of those, basically the other 3 triangles. Your drawing here for point 3 or your image must have at least 6 sides. Again, I don't encourage you to do 7 or 8. You can if you want to. It's just more work for you. Your shape cannot be a regular hexagon. Basically, the standard shape you would think of. A regular hexagon means all angles and all sides congruent. You have to have a unique hexagon. You can make it concave, you can make it convex, you can make it irregular. It can just look really different as long as it has 6 sides and it's enclosed. And I'm going to look at if you accurately measured the angles on the sides using your ruler and using your protractor. Step 4, all the supporting math must be included to support how you computed all those sectored interior angles and those interior lines that you drew, and also how you got the area formulas for all 4 of the triangles. And then the 5th thing is the organization. The work you submit needs to be organized so I can follow it easily. Now, when is this due? So this is day 2, and you are learning about this project now in day 2. On day 3, you have the whole time allotted to work on this assessment. At the end of day 3 at 3 p.m. is the deadline for uploading all of your work for this, the image and all of your math supporting. Anything submitted after 3 p.m. on your day 3 can only earn up to 60%, so be really thoughtful about that. Now, if we go back to the folder just to see if there's anything else we should talk about in that Chapter 5 folder, what you are going to find is you're going to see some extensions. Here's an extension to get an online ruler. Here it is for the protractor. And then I do have a video for that if you want to use an electronic version of those devices because you don't have a ruler or protractor at home, you'll want to go ahead and watch this video here and include and upload those extensions to your Chrome features. That's pretty much the gist of the project. So the only other thing I want you to be thoughtful of is I will be having and conducting a session using our Zoom feature. So on day 3, for the first 10 minutes of class, I am going to have a Zoom session that you can join. The Zoom session for 4th hour, your day 3, you have it at 10:30 in the morning. So you can go ahead and join that Zoom session. When you get to day 3, if you just click on in here, go back to our folder. Day 3 is where you would actually submit your project. So when you click into here, you would submit your project right in here, click in there and upload. The Zoom conference session though, I will hold a Zoom conference session for 4th hour. It is going to be Friday, April 3rd at 10:30. 3rd and 7th hour, you meet that next Monday. That is your day 3, which is April 6th. 3rd hour, it's at 10:30 in the morning. 7th hour, you're at 1:45. I will hold this for about 10 to 15 minutes. I will post on here when it's your time the Zoom meeting connection information that you need. So please feel free to join this conversation if you have questions about your activity and assessment that you need to do. You can also email me. If you read this, my email is right there, landon@277apps.org. Be careful if you do not email Landon D. That is not me, and I will not get that information. So just making that deadline, again, the Zoom conference on the beginning of day 3, you can join, or just email me with any questions you have. So good luck on this project. Remember, when you are ready, just go into this day 3 folder. You're going to go right into here into the project and then upload your information of your image and all of your work here. Have a good week and email me with any questions or concerns.